All right, we are live. Corvo, can you speak and see if we get audio?
What's up, guys? Give me just a second. I'll check that audio.
All right. Hopefully this week nothing will go bad. Sorry last week for those who watched. A lot of people actually watched last week's episode, but unfortunately, was not aware that since all the whole hacking and the old it's hacking, but the old whole release and the Microsoft debacle. Apparently, everybody had to reset their streaming codes, and then that happened during the stream, so my code went bad because of it.
We are good.
All right, this is the BearThoughts podcast. As we start every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Central PST time, Corvo is out in town, and I'm still stuck at home, so no vacation for me yet. Hopefully sometime.
From Orlando.
Yes, he is having a good time, and I'm all right. I had to babysit a puppy dog, or our neighbor's puppy dog this morning, which I'm fine doing. I would just like him to stick to his end of the bargain, and babysitting fees. Make my suffering worth it. So just saying, I'm not trying to be greedy here, but I don't mind. He's a very sweet dog, just a little puppy though. All right, Corvo, how are you feeling this week?
I'm good now.
Good now?
I'm not at home. I'm not being harassed. I'm good.
Until you get home and you get back to work and all hell has broken loose.
Look here, man. You're making me want to make this my permanent residence.
You know it happens all too often, and we both both understand it. It's just one of those. It's a price we pay for going on vacation and coming home to whatever it may be.
Yeah, especially in my case this week, because my boss decided to take off all 6 working days that I took off.
Yeah, good timing, boss. Really good time to really step up and be the boss and be the man that everybody employs you for.
The crazy thing is my vacation, my vacation for this has been booked for months. I've had this on the vacation books for months, literally. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, he's going to be out of town the exact same days. Sounds like somebody didn't want to cover, but that's not the point. That just means when Corvo gets back to work, there's going to be a stack of work taller than he is waiting for him.
Well, him, but then he'll delegate it to other people.
Yeah.
Those words, delegate, rather than do it himself.
Absolutely.
And that's just, that's the point of being a boss, right? It's like, hey, why do the work when you can do someone or make someone else do it for you?
I guess I've been a manager before, and I'm not that kind of manager, so it's hard for me to get down with that. But hey, to each his own. If that's the way he wants to do his job, let him do it. It'll either pay off for him or bite him in the butt, but it won't be my fault.
Down with the sickness. So yeah, let's just hope that goes good. But right now you're on vacation and you're going to be on there for another couple more days. So you have plenty of time to fully immerse yourself in the vast span of freedom that you're having for this little bit of time.
We got here Friday night and we'll be leaving Friday.
Must be nice to have 7 full days. Of course, next time me and my wife, we done said next vacation we go, especially if it's Japan, we're leaving for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We're not going there for 1 week. We're going for 2 weeks.
A Japan trip would be definitely. I wouldn't go no shorter than 7 days at most, because it's almost a day there and a day back.
Yeah, you're losing. You're guaranteed to lose a day. You're guaranteed to lose a full day.
No way you're not. Yeah.
So it's very hard. And of course, when we went there, there was so much stuff that we still wanted to do that 7 days was not enough.
Well, especially if it's a place that you really enjoy, you like that culture, like I like that culture.
Mm-hmm.
So for me and you, and for people that like that culture or the culture of a place they go to, it never seems like you have enough time. You could probably be there a month and say, I still didn't get to do everything I wanted to do. I enjoy the Asian culture. I also have a big thing for Irish and Celtic cultures because of my family heritage.
Hmm.
So I imagine if I ever managed to get to Ireland to see where our home estate used to be, I would probably say that even if I was there a month, I wouldn't get to see everything I wanted. You know, it's relevant to your interest.
Yeah. I did hear another podcast talking about if you would ever go to a place like Europe or England or Britain, whatever. Like a lot of that culture, a lot of their culture, you're not gonna find very much stuff to do. Even if you go to the tourist trap places, you're gonna find yourself running out of things to do very quickly, unless you are a drinker. Like their culture is heavily behind the drinking aspect of it, and
Yeah.
knowing what I know, well, okay, knowing what uncultured swine I am, not knowing very much about my own culture of of Scottish or British, or not British, Scottish, German, or Irish. I have no idea what that's about, but I'm pretty sure some of that involves heavy drinking as well. And I don't know very much jack diddly squat about that culture when it comes to being a vacationer to their
Well,
culture.
see, for me, I think I would just like to visit some places from history.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to visit Whitechapel. I'd like to go to Dublin. I'd like to go to Stonehenge. I'd like to go to Baker Street. There's a bunch of places I'd like to go that are historically documented. And then
Mm.
there's a lot of places that I'd like to see, even if I don't like go in or anything, but like know that, hey, I was standing across the street from Big Ben,
Yeah. People
stuff like that.
people say that if you go to England, don't very much don't go to the tower with, is that Big Ben, right? Like just like go to a place where you have a good view of it. Like
Right.
going to it, it's like $90 or something like that, or £90. I don't know what the conversion is, but
Yeah.
a lot of people that live there is like, hey, it's not worth it. Just like go to a place where you can see it and you can have a full view of it. You can walk outside around it, but going to it, it's not worth the money. I don't know, but I've never been there. But I know there were so many things in Japan that I could spend. Like I said before, I can go. Just going somewhere, just going somewhere, right? Just take off on foot, go in direction, see what you find. That's what I was having a lot of fun doing when I was there. And even then, if I were to go to Scotland or Britain, or not Scotland or Britain, Scotland or Ireland, my wife does show me plenty of pictures of like beautiful scenery that's out way out in the woods, which I'm totally down for, as long as it's not like a several hour hike to get to that one spot, because I'm in the country where I'm not like from, so it's not gonna be like, hey, I just drive back. I know where I'm going. I have no clue where I'm going, if I be honest there. So, and even with the tourist guide, I'm sure it would be a little uncomfortable. But my mom just got back from a vacation herself. And Mom, I love you. She just had a stroke the other day, which put me about the stroke. So, yay, my life is going even better. Shit, keep it happening to me. Hit that like button, subscribe button, make my year, help me get 100, please, everybody. I've been having a terrible year. Let me just put it just frankly, if everybody's already know this, terrible year. And it's not getting any better. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave it a comment down below. What's your thoughts about today's podcast? So, you had a couple topic points you wanted to bring up today, and I want to jump right into it. Let's start from the very top. Dolphins. Dolphins. You're at okay. Where are you at first? Some people didn't understand where you were located.
Okay, so we are spending our time between Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay and SeaWorld in Orlando. We were fortunate enough to book in advance the actual dolphin encounter for us and the kids. And I knew dolphins were, as some of the trainers like to say, drama queens, it's all about them. They like to show off. They like to be pretty. I did not realize just how much. So when we did this encounter, we actually got to go out, touch the dolphin, give the dolphin some commands, and let them do some stuff. And dude, let me tell you, did they put on a show for my kids?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ethan could get those dolphins to do anything. There were grown people trying to mimic these commands that the trainer was giving them. Not working. My child walks up, barely able to reach over the wall to touch the dolphin, and gives command, and the dolphin just hops right to it. You
Yeah.
know, it was freaking amazing, and it was lovely to watch the kids have as much fun as they did. Like, the trainer had the dolphin come up beside the wall that we were at and literally float still in the water, head up, tail up, so you could rub the dolphin, feel what he felt like. Taught him how to get him to talk to you. Taught him how to get him to pirouette in the water. How to act like they've been caught on a fishing line. So you put your hands like this, like you got a fishing pole, and you cast it out. And then the dolphin will wiggle in the water like it's been caught. When you start reeling, they make a sound that sounds like you're reeling them in. You know. They were hamming it up, dude, and I loved it. It was fantastic. It was a great experience. I mean, I'm fixing to be 40 here shortly, and I thought it was one of the greatest things I've ever done.
So it wasn't an in-water experience. It was a outside pool experience.
No, we couldn't do the in-water because I don't think Ethan's quite old enough to do the in-water one yet. But we were able to do the one where, you got to touch them, you got to interact with them, give them commands, things like that. And they enjoyed that a lot. And then afterwards we went down, they have a underground area with a big old glass wall that you can see into the pool.
Yeah.
And to me, that is one of the greatest places in the park because it's air conditioner, B, it's kind of dark, so the sun ain't beating down on you. And you can literally watch like 10 to 12 dolphins just swimming through that thing, hamming it up, doing all kind of tricks and stuff. Like, one dolphin blew a bubble in the shape of a ring, like a smoke ring, but a bubble.
Yeah.
And then swam through it.
Okay, I've seen something like that in a video, but it's not that it. Okay, those are experience. Whether on video, it doesn't truly convey the experience and feel of that moment when you're living it.
It really doesn't. Like, I've seen the videos, but to be standing there, like, knowing that it's just on the other side of the glass and it does this thing and and goes through the circle right in front of me, I was like, holy crap. Mm-hmm. It goes from being, did somebody digitally, alter that, to I just seen that with my own eyes.
Like, that just happened.
That just freaking happened, kind of thing, And then we also found out that dolphins have a very not so pleasant way of letting certain humans know that they don't like them. Because there was for lack of a better term, a Karen down there while we were down there, if you know what a Karen is. And she was yan away about how it wasn't all that great and stuff. And I guess the dolphins have been around people enough to know that she was not happy. So they just started floating by her and kind of relieving themselves right in front of the glass in front of her repetitively. On one of my videos, you literally see it happen. I don't have that one queued, but it was priceless because once they realized she reacted and made the ooh face, they were like, oh yeah, we got this one. It was just like drive by. I was just like, oh my God. It was hilarious. So that was the dolphins. Okay. What else do you want to know?
Well, we can jump around here and there, and I want to keep it somewhat going. I am curious about one topic point that you brought up, and I was kind of confused what you're saying. It's the character of me, and it was,
caricature.
Fun. I love it. Too fun.
Caricature.
Okay.
It's a caricature.
Okay, so drawing of you. So I guess you had somebody there do a portrayal of you at Orlando, which is normally when you go there that they'll draw a cartoon styling of you. Yes. And a very old school style. Like, this style was back in what, Mad, the TV Mad show that came out, aired. Like, okay, so let's see what it looks like and how you were portrayed. Ha! Okay, you kind of look like George Lucas.
know, right? I was very happy with that.
And
Actually,
he even drew Dragon Ball Z on your shirt. That's
that's the
great.
shirt. That's the shirt I was wearing. I got so many compliments that day. You know, the one that I sent you.
Yeah.
I was wearing that one. I got so many compliments on that shirt that day. It was ridiculous.
I still think you sent me one, but it's so big on even on me. I can literally wear it as a night shirt if I want to. I literally did it one day just because I want to see if I could.
I wear it because I just like to be comfortable.
Oh yeah. So okay, so like you got yourself drawn while you're there. Okay, did Stealthy get hers done?
No, she did not do hers. We have, over the course of the past few years, we've had Soren done. We've had me done one time, but it got messed up. And then we had the boys done together, so she's up next.
Okay. You know that would have been a great thumbnail if you somehow like gave him a picture of you and me and did our side by side, right, with the BearThoughts logo right in the middle of it. Just
right.
That'd have been pretty cool, but I'm not there, so it's really hard to do that. I know. So
yep.
You're having fun with that. Me, I have been working, and I want to jump into this kind of old, cliche of topic. I've been working on my, I guess, realistically, my first ever attempt of really making a 3D model. And I'm having a bit of a problem. Okay. I am not a 3D model person. Now, some of y'all may know, I'm trying to make my first ever moist, kind of like in a stencil kind of thing. But I want to take this stuff called flexible LED fiber lights and put and string it throughout it to try to make like a neon light out of it. And I'm having some problems. Okay, so I did switch it to SGV. I tried to move it to the mesh misher. No luck there. No go. But I found an alternative way. Apparently, mine SGV was not compatible, even though it was SGV. I just found a converter from SGV to OBJ or STL, which I did STL and whatever, and it worked. But here's my problem: show up the print, and the majority of it came out pretty well, except for one glaring issue. The T decide to not fully print for whatever reason.
What?
I can't even find a part that's supposed to be going here. Like there were supports and everything, and it only goes straight up. Like I had it on the bed like this. So right, it just supports are all on here. I only had to go straight up. And I couldn't, even these little, things in the back right here, like these weird, solid pieces of resin, I didn't make that, nor on this M. This M was not here on the 3D model. I don't know what's going on there. Why is these, what is this and what is this? This wasn't on the 3D model. Why is it on there?
It has something to do with the original SVG file. I've had something similar happen. If you want, when I'm back home, you can send me a copy of your SVG, and I'll run it through one of my programs, and it should clean that up for you.
Okay, it even did it in the ear too. But yeah, I tell you about, it looks pretty good, right? It's a good size, and the bear came out just fine. Just the wording is a little off, and it was a good attempt at my first. Okay, when I say 3D model, I mostly just took a flat image, right, and made that flat image into a layer of 3D modeling, and I just scaled it upwards.
Right.
And my wife's like, "Oh, you know how to make 3D models now? So you can make a 3D model for our IKEA part that we're missing, which we'll get to that a little later." I'm like, "Honey, I'm literally just taking an image that's flat and making a stencil. That's it. I'm not making actual, I'm not doing 3D rendering like a shape. I'm just taking a flat image and I'm just pulling it out. That's all I'm doing."
I can help you with your IKEA part. Do you have one of the parts, one light, the one you're missing?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a way that you can take it out temporarily to do something?
Yes.
Okay. So will it lay flat on a piece of paper?
Well, it's like this shape.
Yeah. But can you take this shape and lay it flat on a piece of paper?
Well, it's a bar, so yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you take, it's a bar, so it's round.
No, it's square.
Okay, it's a square,
Yeah.
right? Then you don't need to do anything, bro. You just literally take the measurement of all four sides, the outside measurement,
Yeah.
and then take the measurement of the length. Go to Thingiverse, pull you a square over, and make the outside measurements the right measurements,
Mm-hmm.
and then lay it over on its side and stretch it to the length. And
Yeah.
you've got your bar.
All that I would be missing after that would be the holes that they're required for all the plugging and screwing.
And we can do that too. I can help you with all that. That's
Okay.
not a problem.
Yeah, she like, could you just print it out for me? I'm like, I don't know how to do that, honey. I'm not very talented with this. I just normally like look up models and find them, and if I need to tinker with them, I will. But otherwise, I just print.
Okay, so what we'll do when I get back, off cast, off stream or something one day, we'll get together and you can share your screen on a call with me. And you can take the bar and I'll walk you through. You just make your measurements and I'll walk you through and let you do it in Tinkercad, and you'll see it's much easier than you think it is.
Gotcha. Well, apparently the IKEA part that we bought some things from IKEA about a week ago. Remember I told you we were missing a part from it, and we've been waiting for them to send us one. They have not sent us one, and we contacted them the other day, and they decided to tell us now, oh, we discontinued that entire thing. Like, we're not making that product anymore.
So you can't even get that shelf anymore.
Can't even get the shelf.
Wow.
They discontinued it. So it didn't bother to tell us 3 weeks now that, oh yeah, by the way, we're not doing that part no more because we're not making that furniture anymore. So, you want your money back now? Why not just tell us?
I hope you fix it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's a bit of annoying.
Brother, I got you. So what else you got going on?
Okay, so other than that, I want to jump into your next topic.
Okay.
I hate to be topic century, but I haven't very much had a week that was, well, I haven't very much had a good week. My wife had got her shot yesterday. That was fun. Oh, yep. she got 4 shots. She got not only the COVID shot, she also got it's a tetanus shot and some kind of, I don't know about parvo shot and like all these shots for her school. Her week's been very active. Me, I just been wanting to go to Second and Charles and buy me some manga because the next episode or next manga of One Punch Man came out this past week, and I that's the only manga I'm kept up with. And so far, okay, I will say this though. There was an Ed figurine, the exact opposite of Al that y'all sent me and gave to me.
Yep.
It was the last one, and a girl was walking around it as if it was the Holy Bible. She would not let go of that thing. She let go for 2 minutes, and I could have easily snatched it up and ran. But I didn't want to be that dick. She did come back for it and pick it back up, but she did leave it let it alone. And I was been just hoping please, don't want to buy or just say, I can't afford it. Find someone else that you might want more. I was hoping she would just let it go, and I would just go, mine now, bye. But I didn't want to be that dick. And my wife's like, I would have. I'm like, of course you would have. You're just that charming of a woman. Speaking of wives, give me honey. What?
I didn't feed the dog or the cat because people outside. So
Okay. Well, they won't be happy about that, but they'll be all right.
Forgot something real quick. Whenever you're ready.
All right.
We were talking about the Dolphins a while ago.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. Let me show it to you.
Oh, that ring.
Yep. There we go.
Dolphin looks very happy and very pleased to be taking pictures. I honestly thought when you told me you're going swimming with or going to go see the dolphins, you would have got in there with it. And I was hoping Stealthy Hat got the whole, that whole video where a lady lays on the bed of the outer ring of the pool, and a dolphin just swims up and gets on top of her and starts flopping. I was hoping to hear about that experience from Stealthy.
We wanted to swim with the dolphins, and Stealthy most certainly would have, but like I said, the youngest wasn't able to. Now, a topic that I think you will be interested in: 3D printing at Busch Gardens.
Okay, so Busch Garden. Now, explain to me, because I have no clue what Busch Gardens is.
Okay, so Busch Gardens is a theme park slash zoo. It's kind of like SeaWorld, but instead of sea animals, you have lions, tigers, gorillas,
Oh my.
chimps, all that stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Now, you remember we were talking one time before that there's multiple ways to technically 3D print. There is our CR series that uses our spool.
Yes.
You know, there's the resin printer, and then remember there were some older printers back in the day that literally used cast that they blew in plastic, and it formed, right?
Well, it's a mold, and it's a mold that can withstand heat, right?
Right, and they blew the plastic in, so technically it was still 3D printing because it was a three-dimensional object.
Yes.
Made by a machine. So I have a couple of examples of that type of 3D print done for $5 a pop at Busch Gardens. Here's your gorilla. This gorilla is my oldest. This is what he wanted.
Okay. So
For his souvenir. This is plastic.
is it hollow? It sounds pretty hollow.
It is hollow. So
Okay.
what they do is, of course, they have and I'll show you this one. This is my youngest. His is a cheetah.
Okay.
Okay. So what they do is, of course, the mold closes. Okay. And then they start pouring the plastic in, and then they have air jets in the bottom that blow up into the mold, which blows that hot plastic out to hit the sides. And it makes a hollow 3D object.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of like there's a way of casting certain models with regular resin, and they have a mold, right, and they pour resin into it, and instead of like having the resin blow out, they have this machine that like turns it and tosses it so it doesn't like use up all the resin to make a hollow piece or have a bit of resin in one section. It kind of like makes a hollow piece, like a shell of the mold, and then they pull the mold open, and there's this light, kind of outer wall shape of the object you're doing, and that will be your 3D print. And they do that for masking sometimes, but also kind of reminds me of also like if you wanted to, you could pour wax inside of it and get it, to get the shape of that way too. So okay, so I'm assuming that they have set molds and you have the set choices, so it's not I can go, hey, here's a 3D model, now make a mold out of it, make a blow up version of it.
This is very much old school 3D print technology. So whatever mold you set is what the machine does. The nice thing is throughout this park there is probably 25 different machines. You can get all kinds of different animals, and they even rolled out some new ones this year because for the first time ever, Busch Gardens and SeaWorld they're doing hollow screen. They have not done it in the past like the other parks. They are doing it this year. So I know at Busch Gardens you could get a Frankenstein, you could get a ghost, you could get all kind of like spooky ones too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very interesting. It's very nice, and as somebody that 3D prints, even though it was older technology, it was nice to see that somebody was making it available for somebody to walk by and say, "Hey, $5, sure, I'll have that," and support 3D printing.
Yeah. My thought is, if they were to bring other versions of 3D printing, it probably wouldn't be as interesting because that's quick, right? Like you just take a mold, take some plastic and blow it up, and then
5 minutes.
Boop, there you go.
5 minutes and it's done.
But you can't go, hey, 3D print me, let's say Squirtle here, and come back to me tomorrow. It should be ready. Like it just. Like that's not going to very much be very accessible. So if anybody out there thinking, 3D print is like 5 minutes and ready to go, you're sadly mistaken.
No. Only this technology does that.
Yeah, I've seen like some videos of people like making those old school rafts and boats out of plastic. They have the top sealed off and they blow a bunch of air into it, and its two arms come in and kind of like smush it to keep the air inside of it, but to make a shape of a boat. And when they pull it out, they just trim the edges off, and then there you go. There's your mold of a boat that they sell afterwards, which is. Was it the same, or was it like, here's a mold, they put some plastic, a balloon of some kind of plastic inside of it, and then heat it up and then blow it up inside?
So what they do is the mold closes, the mold itself is heated as well as the plastic being blown into it, and then they use air jets. The air jets is what forces the plastic out against the walls.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it take the shape.
Okay, so it's not like okay, blow up balloon and smash. It's just
inside. It's not like that at all.
Okay.
It's not like that at all. Like literally, when you look at the machine, when you walk up to it, it's open. You can see both sides of the mold. Okay. And if you look at the machine carefully, you can actually see the jets where the plastic's going to come up at, and the jets where the air's coming in at. And then it closes. It starts running and injects the plastic. And while it's injecting the plastic, it's pushing the air, which is forcing the plastic against the walls.
Is it upside down, or is it going straight up? Okay.
It's straight up. It prints it just like it's sitting, just like this.
Was it a pool of plastic, like melted plastic that they were just waiting for? Okay.
No, it literally come through a nozzle in the machine. Like, if you look at the base of this one, you see those two holes?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the plastic was coming in at. The only reason you have holes there is because a little blade comes along when it's done and just shaves it and lets it fall off for you.
Oh, it was like a little machine, like you go to it and watch it, watch it go.
It does the whole thing in 5 minutes. Although they do tell you to let it sit for a minute in the machine before you pick it up out of the basket because these freaking things are hot. I should know because my kids are impatient.
Yeah, that found out real quick. Oh, it's hot. I wonder.
No. Daddy found out.
Oh, Daddy found out. And
Daddy found out.
They made Daddy go for it, not themselves. Yeah. Okay, so.
Absolutely. My children are impatient, but not dumb.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so that is very, very interesting. I'm glad something like that is around. Now, did they call it 3D printing?
I don't know what the machine didn't say what kind. It didn't call it 3D printing. It didn't call it molding. All it literally said was, get your character of whatever this is made here. 5 minutes or less,
Yeah.
I thought, because you can't, the first time I seen one, when this one was getting done, I thought this was going to be a foam. Because there is a place, I can't remember which place it is, but there is a part that's doing something similar to this, but instead of using plastic and air, they're taking molds, closing them, and spraying foam up into them that expands, and then once it's sat there, whatever required time it takes, it opens and it drops off, and you have like a foam character. I thought that's what this was going to be because, like I said, it didn't really say what it was.
Yeah.
But when I pulled it out, I was like, holy crap, that's actual plastic. That's not foam. Like, that's plastic.
Yeah, so it'd be a memorabilia for a long time. Most memorabilia that I had when I was a kid were always the classic, hey, take a penny, put it in a machine, we'll flatten it out and make a logo on it or something like that. That was my memorabilia when I was a kid. We didn't have
my oldest has already asked me to show him how to use my airbrush because he wants to paint his.
Okay. So yeah, it might be more than just one experience.
Yep.
So, okay, we're gonna jump right into the next thing. Because normally you go there to Orlando or you normally go to Florida, and there's always one thing that you tend to find yourself doing every time you go there now. It seems like almost a tradition. Get yourself a tattoo.
Okay, so that will be happening tomorrow. I have been prepping myself and enjoying the pool as much as possible and the water rides as much as possible because after tomorrow that will end. Um, you can't very much submerge it for like 2 weeks. Tomorrow I will be having the flowers, the clouds, and the flames colored in on my dragon calf tattoo for Granddad and Granny. And the dragon will be getting its black and gray shading. While I'm enjoying this luxury of pain, my children and wife are going to go back to SeaWorld.
Okay.
While I'm laying there getting tortured. Thank you, Granddad. That was a fantastic place to pick. It doesn't hurt just a little.
A little of a lot, as I always hear.
Right. So, honestly, from middle of your calf down to my ankle, nothing. Middle of my calf up towards the back of my knee, ow.
Yeah, the sun don't touch that spot very often, and
Not very much.
And it just doesn't seem like it gets a lot of rub and tear on it as other ligaments and parts of the body do all too often. So, yeah, I was debating by myself. Like, I want to get some more tattoos myself, but I told my wife, I want to get all the Dragon Balls hidden on my body somewhere, just hidden, like it's hard to find. Like that's why one of them is on my ear.
I know where you can get the 7-star ball foot.
Yeah, but I don't want that part tainted. And I don't want
You don't want her making wishes regularly?
No, and also I don't want my wife to tell her to suck my Dragon Ball. So, yeah, I want to do that, and also I want to do the gene from Outlaw Star on my shoulder someday as well. But that's always coming someday. So you're gonna be there fixing it, and getting it finished finally. How much in total does this thing cost?
$1,500.
15. Okay, so and this guy he's renowned in the Florida area, and he's only located inside of Orlando, isn't he?
Hart and Huntington and City Walk at Universal.
So, do you have to pay to go to this place? Like, you have to pay to get to go into Orlando to go to the tattoo shop?
No, Hart and Huntington is in City Walk. City Walk is a free place inside of Universal you can go.
Okay.
You don't have to go. You don't have to pay for a ticket or anything to go there. If you go after 6 p.m., even the parking's free.
Okay, so that would definitely save some time and money. I would think of like, hey, since we are already here at Orlando, Daddy, have fun with the tattoo. We're going to Orlando. That would be my thought. Of course, I haven't been to Orlando very often, so I don't know if the joy of Orlando has run its course. I would imagine not, but maybe it's a little cheaper to go to Waterworld than to Orlando, possibly. Or is it you guys have a ticket so you can just return over to?
Listen, man, you're talking about the guy that has a Saturday booked in November and a Saturday booked in December to go back.
For
the OI meetup.
Oh, okay, gotcha. For in Orlando, gotcha. So yeah, you definitely have yourself a fun time to keep it returning. So at least it's nice to have returning customers.
Oh, you're gonna love this. I won something yesterday, and I never win anything.
Oh, oh.
So we're walking through the park, and one of the guys says, "Hey, y'all have annual passes. This is at SeaWorld. Or are y'all doing like a stay thing?" We're like, "We did the 14-day length of stay thing." He's like, "Oh, well, have you had anybody scan your ticket? Because you could win, a week-long stay because of COVID. We're doing this special raffle. You could win a week-long stay, and it instead of it being like $8, $9, $10, it'd only be like $75." I'm like, well, shit, I'm game. I probably won't win nothing, but I'll let him scan it.
Yeah, it's free, right?
Guess who won?
Nice. So
I only had to pay. We only got to pay $75, but we get a week's worth of free hotel accommodations off of the $75.
Yeah, which realistically, and I'm just putting it for like they're losing money, but they, the people paying for the chance of winning. Was it okay? Did you have to pay to enter, or was you already entered the moment you did pay for tickets?
I was entered. I didn't have to pay anything unless I popped green. If I popped that I qualified, then I pay them $75 just so that they can do their processing fees.
Yeah.
But like what it would normally cost for a week worth of hotel down here is like between $800 and $1,200. So 75 versus 812.
Yeah, especially if they know they're going to have you returning.
Right. So I won that, and so I already have a week ready for us the next time we have an OI meetup down here for hotels. We don't have to worry about that.
Nice. That definitely save you some money and save you some. Well, I don't know about it. Well, it's not very much a trip. I don't know how far away the world is from Orlando, but I wouldn't imagine very far at all. So
no, we're talking about I can use this for any trip down here.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what trip it is. Like I don't have to come to SeaWorld to use this. I can use this when I go to Universal Studios.
Nice. All right. Well, at least that you have that. I would love to have that for me. Like, hey, you want to come back to Japan? Pay for a hotel already free and already available for you. Do you want to try? Yes, please. If I ever see a contest for that on Twitter, I would definitely enter it. By the way, if anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, down below, be sure we're on the wrong side, but you get mine to the other side. And I enter contests all the time, so maybe you have a chance of winning at one of the things that I'm trying to win. And was so far this whole year unfortunate not to win a single thing. But you miss every shot you don't take, right? This is how life goes. Apparently, okay. Also, like speaking of taking shots and stuff like that. When it's not really bad shots. I talked to Anime yesterday. For those who do not know Anime, send him your love. His father as well. Just yesterday. My mom had like two or 3 days now ago. Just yesterday, Anime's dad had a stroke. He's still alive. He's in the hospital. He says he's doing okay, but he wasn't able to see his dad afterwards. When he had a stroke right in front of him, and he was able to call help. So me and Anime had a big old long talk about yesterday about cheaters in video games and Pokemon card things and stuff like that. Because, Anime is trying to collect things, and he's done seen, like, people at their worst buying Pokemon cards. And I was talking to him, because he's definitely one of the kind of guys out there that has the mindset of, what if? And I was like, you can't predicate your life on what ifs. Because
if you live on what ifs your whole life, you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah, and he was so negative, and I know he was in a negative mind because his father was in hospital, and he's normally not always like that, but he does live in that what if world. And for anybody out there that has the same negative out view, stop asking yourself what ifs and start to take control of things you can take control of. And I want to announce to everybody and tell something about something myself. The reason why the resin video didn't go out, and Corvo, I haven't told you this yet. I want to tell you during the podcast. The entire video is trash because the video's audio, all of it was messed up.
What?
I don't know what happened. Like, I was listening to myself, and I could hear myself going, I couldn't hear me. So the entire video trashed because I didn't know there's some reason my mic was not doing what it normally does and pick up my voice. And for some reason of lately, I don't know what happened. Every time I reset my computer, or I turn up my computer and turn it back on, my microphone, I have to unplug it and plug it back in for the functionalities of this microphone to start working.
No, it's not your mic. That's your USB port.
Okay, so try a new USB port. It's so annoying. Like, why? Like, what is... It works fine afterwards.
USB ports are notorious for having problems on initialization.
It's pretty annoying because I don't pay attention to like it, because I'm not always like looking at it going, is it on? Like I'm looking at the little
Right.
bar doing this little thing, right?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why would I need to? And also sometimes like if I mute it, right, and I turn off the computer, come back, and then turn it back on, sometimes it will even be on but muted. And I'm like, oh, it's red. Okay, let me fix that real quick. I love USB because it's so simple, so easy. I don't know about a lot of other things. That's why I use USB. But I know people out there swear by the other version of microphones, which I may someday get upgrade to, but not today. Yeah, the whole video trash, and that's just another part of the year of everything going to shit for me. But I want to do a video, and I want, like I said, I want to get y'all involved in a little game. And I thought the concept of it would be really fun to do, but the problem is I need 8 people to do it.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can get me in stealthy.
Yeah.
I might. Let me talk to Rollover. I might can get him in on it.
And it has to be 8 people, not including myself. So that's a video I would like to try. I saw a video the other day and I thought it was funny. I thought it was great. I think it's be a hooping good time. And if it goes well, I'll do more of it. But I was watching a video this past week about, what really holds you back in life and what really, gets you to stop taking chances and really trying what stops you being successful. And it's not always about, people always want to externalize that other people are just lucky. Right, they're just lucky that they got where they are, or they're lucky that they got what they're doing, or they're lucky that they're in the situation they are. It's nothing about just being a hard worker and just trying, because every shot you don't try, you don't make. But they're like this, so why even try? Because I won't make it because they were lucky, I am not. So therefore, ergo, I'm not even going to try, even though I have the drive and passion to do so. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've tried.
I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah, I've tried and shot a lot of bullets, not real bullets, figurative bullets, and I've not hit yet. Does not mean I've stopped, but it is very demoralizing when you make a really good video to your personal standards and no one watches, or no one leaves a comment, or that's like, it's like, why even try? But at least I'm still going and not just saying, hey, they just got lucky. If you go out tomorrow and buy a lottery ticket and get $1 million within your first try of doing lottery tickets ever, that's luck.
Right. That reminds me, you said video. I'm going to I pulled down a copy of the videos of the mask printing.
Yeah.
I'm going to take those and time lapse them when I get home and see if we can get like a fast-paced video of that mask being printed.
Yeah.
Also, when I get home, that I'll sand it and get it all painted up and stuff and get it ready before the next podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So we can show that off, because honestly, that thing turned out fantastic, dude.
Yeah. I would definitely say, make sure you sand it. You know that already. And if you have any filler primer, use it. Like automotive filler primer. Like, that stuff works great for spool-like filament printers, which...
Yeah. But I run this thing with some tight layers. So, other than a couple of spots I've seen, for the most part, some spray-on filler should take care of everything.
I do say, though, like, I've printed things on a spool printer, and I don't know what it is, and like you can barely see the lines, but the moment you hit it with primer or paint, those lines like pop out. Yep. Like sometimes way too hard. And I need to set it back down to try to get it to stop showing out. And it happens sometimes with the resin printers as well, but not very much, because like normally those lines are so thin that the paint would kind of like goo over them. But the spool printers, I don't know what it is. Sometimes those lines just like, there's a line.
Well, it's like how thick are you laying your layers is the question. Because you asked me one time, because you made the comment that my lines are much less noticeable than some of the ones that you do.
Yeah.
How thick are you running your layers?
I really don't remember, because I haven't done mine used mine in quite some time. because again, it's the only one that's working, and it's the one I'm going to be giving to your son. So,
by the way, he does have the money for that now. So as soon as we can
Meet up.
work out the finances, we're actually going to come up to you for a weekend.
nice.
We're going to pick it up while we're up there. Maybe we can hang out a little bit while we're there, and because he's uber excited for it. He's been taking, like, he sat down one day and watched YouTube videos on 3D printing the entire day.
Okay, so he's taking a lot of
ready.
interest. So, I will ask you though, like, since you're there in Orlando for a whole week, no football games?
No football games. No football games.
Were they canceled, or were they're still going, and you're just like, hey, my son's not gonna be here for a week. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. Nah. No football games. No, they this entire week, is their fall break. So the coaches and all got together and decided we're not going to do practices this week. And we're not doing games this week. We're going to let the kids go and have a good time and all that good stuff, because honestly, Soren's season has been pretty good. I mean, they've had 1 loss and 3 victories.
Okay.
So their coaches are like, they've been putting in the work. You know, they've been doing their best. Like, at the end of the last practice, Soren got a shout out back to me and his mom on the sideline that we needed to know that Soren brought it that day. He was doing what he needed to do. So, you know, they reward the kids by giving them, hey, we understand y'all been doing the best you could do. Take this week, go do what you got to do. But now, come this weekend when we get back, this upcoming weekend, they're probably going to have a practice this weekend. You know, knowing them, so.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about, like, your son being the reason why they lose this time, other than the other 5 or 6 kids that didn't show up last week.
Right, right. And he put out a message on that, basically telling them, you know, if you don't show up for practice, you're not playing the first half of the game, period.
Okay, but yeah, since this whole football thing is going on, but we had a lot of people at my apartment area having a lot of get-togethers, watching football, and funny story. Okay, let me preface this. I love brothers and sisters. Let me just say that I've been around brothers and sisters my entire life, and this stuff was fucking funny to me. I don't care who you are, it made me laugh so hard. So we were at late in the morning, and we were taking our kids out. It's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, which we are usually up at that time because my wife works night shift, so she's kind of used to being up at night, and I got used to being up at night, so now we're kind of like night owls. So we're taking our dogs out, and we're coming back inside, and this brother is standing outside 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's a little tipsy. He had him a good night, right? Like, the dude is, he's a little out of it. And he sees me and my wife walking up to us. And okay, for any brothers and sisters out there, Brian, G Slim, if anybody's watching, like, okay, it's so fucking funny to me. I couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry. But he saw me and my wife, and this is what he said to us as soon as he saw us. And he said it a number of times. He went, white people. White people. White people. White people.
I see white people.
You live here? White people. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, doggies, what up, little bros? Little bros. And he sees my pug, and he goes, yeah, get it. Go inside. Feed that one some cat food. I went, okay. Bye, white people.
White people.
He just kept on saying white people. My brain was like, oh, God, you are wasted, dude. He was so surprised to see white people so much. He's like, you live here? Yep, we do. With all your brothers and sisters, too. Like, he was surprised. Like, we live there. Like, we're the oldest residents in the entire building. And I don't get on. I'm not getting on to him because I didn't think he'd being racist at that. He was just a little drunk. He's having a good time. I didn't want to ruin his buzz and like that. I try to be very friendly and cordial with the rest of my residents around here, since me and my wife are kind of the oldest people that live here. So that was very unusual. I don't know how many other people have experienced that before, but like to just be called out, just white people. White people.
White people.
Yeah, he was, and he also asked me for a cigarette. Like, yeah, I don't smoke, got lung problems. Like, good. Like, you just asked me for a smoke, and you're telling me that I told you I can't. And you're like, good.
And so I got one more thing that we can go over from the trip. If you're ready to cue that up.
Yes. Let me see. So the GoPro,
here's
and
the example. This is the wrist strap.
Yeah.
It was on this wrist with a camera mounted like that.
Okay, so I have a quick question though. It says GoPro and sharing video, and then the eldest and the battle of the coaster. Is that one of the same? It says the oldest and the battle with coasters.
Oh yeah. That's all the same. So
okay, but
what I'm trying to point out is here, my oldest has had an aversion to roller coasters for a while.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the coaster itself. It's always the first drop. So, over this trip, me and my wife have ever so not gingerly tried to work him into this. Now, the coaster you're about to see has the worst drop at SeaWorld. He is sitting in the front row directly beside me. He has now officially ridden all 3 of the roller coasters that are what you would call an adult roller coaster at SeaWorld. He's in love with 2 of them, will ride them anytime you want to now. Whenever you want to. This one, he says he wants to wait a little while before he rides it again because the drop kind of got him in his stomach.
Yeah.
He wasn't really ready for it. But yes, it has been a battle, dude. This thing started at Busch Gardens. We had to work on him for an entire day to get him on the first one. He finally got on it, and he was good with going on it multiple times.
And this was the oldest, right?
Yep, then we got him to go on to another one there. After he went on it, he wanted to ride it multiple times. You see the pattern here, right?
Yeah.
So it was a battle, but we finally got him into riding them, and he's excited. He likes to ride the ones that he likes to ride. There's 2 at both parks. He'll ride anytime you want to ride with anybody that wants to ride them. The downside is my youngest is not scared of nothing, and he is 6 inches too short.
Yeah, so like he's already overcame his fears.
Yeah, he don't care. He's ready to go. Let's do this.
Yeah, he's adventurous.
Yeah, he's been on water rides that have those steep drops that are worse than some of the drops on these roller coasters.
Yeah.
And he's all like, let's do it again, like 12 times. So he's good. He just can't get on them. Like, he literally will cry because he can't get on these roller coasters.
Okay, I don't know if there's something reason for it. Let me just say this off the bat. I some reason enjoy. I wouldn't say maybe more, but sometimes actually more. I actually enjoy the roller coasters that involve water. That I enjoy roller coasters that involves speed and drops. I think it's because I like being cold and I like being cool, and the water feels good.
I love cold and cool too, but I am a equal opportunist when it comes to a roller coaster.
Yeah.
If it sits on a metal rail and it goes down the track, I'm gonna get on it.
I'm like, you can get wet during this ride? Yes, please. Like I'll always liked going to water parks. I was like, that's my thing, right? Water parks, water, coldness, and just zipping down a tube, just like that to me is so nice and so refreshing. And I don't know, I just don't like heat, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of heat. Like, you would have loved the penguin encounter that we did today.
Uh-huh.
Because you go in and meet this penguin and to touch it, it was like 50, 60 degrees, and there was literally snow falling inside. So yeah, I was very happy. You just let me know when you're ready, and I'll click play, buddy.
Okay, so I gotta press watch stream, so let me press that now. That's up our thing. Okay, so it's ready to go. So what is this roller coaster? Let's start with that preface first, and where is it located at?
This is the Mako. Is, as of right now, the biggest, baddest roller coaster at SeaWorld. Now, guys, understand this is SeaWorld. It's not the longest roller coaster in the world, but it has some drops in it in multiple spots that even a 200-plus pound man like myself will lift out of the seat and feel momentarily weightless. Okay? My oldest is on this with me for the first time. You will probably hear him doing his woohoos and stuff after the first drop, because during the first drop he is stunned. So, here we go. The Mako.
I wonder if there's any roller coasters, you can keep on playing, but I wonder if there's any roller coasters out there that literally expand the entire theme park. I think that'd be pretty cool.
But I can tell you that there's one at Universal right now that takes 3.5 to 4 minutes to ride, which is pretty long for a coaster.
Yeah, but you can imagine riding a roller coaster that literally like took, I wouldn't say, 30 minutes, but like took you throughout the entire like theme park, twists and turns, and going through other roller coasters.
There's one at Six Flags in Atlanta called the Goliath, and it goes for a long freaking way around the park. It didn't go all the way around the park, but it like literally comes out into the parking lot of the park and comes back.
That would be cool. Okay, so here's the first drop. Nauseous people, be aware.
Yep.
So that first drop, that always is the biggest kicker. But like Stealthy said, the first drop is what the main inertia of the entire ride really predicates itself off of.
Like, I lifted out of the seat right there.
And how fast is this roller coaster going?
Right at 60 miles an hour.
Okay, so it does give you an idea of speed. Now, at least it's somewhat going over water, so when you hit the water, you'll at least skip a stone a couple beat before you lay down comfortably, other than actual ground.
Yeah, the Manta is the one that comes the closest to the water when you're doing it. It literally banks on its side, on one side, and if your arms are long enough, you could touch the water.
Right there. That's a pretty close thing to the water. But like I said, at least if you if you hit the water, you'll skip a stone a couple times and then land softly, other than the ground, skipping a stone and not getting back up. I'd much rather be over water, be honest with you.
And if you continue to watch here on the right-hand corner, you might see a sneak peek of a stealth elf.
Yeah, look for her. She's at the very, very end. And
oh,
there she is. Blonde hair, just waiting. Waiting for her turn. Now, Stealthy is a thrill junkie. She loves roller coasters.
Yes.
So,
very much so.
If anybody's wondering, like, why they keep it going to theme parks, that's Stealthy. Well, Corvo as well, but Stealthy is definitely like she's definitely the bigger of roller coaster advocate than I've ever met. She literally knows more details about roller coasters than I think an average person would care to know.
Yep. Well, it's because that was her thing. That was the one thing that she got to enjoy, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she loves them. The new one that we won't talk about on cast that's at Universal, I think if she could pick it up and take it home with her, she would.
I know a lot of people out there that's actually like, the wealthy people that have literally made roller coasters in the backyard. Now, let me ask you this thought. If you could have anything in your backyard, given space being limited, we're not talking about 10 to 20 acres of land. Let's talk about like at least 4 to 5 acres of land. And you have one choice. what would be your one choice that you would put in the backyard? Now, mine, I'm gonna say mine right now from the beginning because this might sound a little weird. I would actually like a bowling alley. If I had the money for it, I like a bowling alley. I like bowling. Bowling is not like something I would heavily get good at. I think it's just a little fun, and you can have multiple people enjoying it. But what would you put in your backyard?
In my backyard?
Yeah, let's say it's four.
Hands down, we would have the biggest 5-acre roller coaster with water around it as possible.
So you would encompass it in, and I'm assuming a lot of drops, a lot of twists and turns, and with water underneath it, right?
And as fast as it can go.
I know there have been people out there that like literally had made their own self-inertia, roller coasters. But the problem is that they're always so small. And
now, let me tell you, I was on a roller coaster both at Universal and one at Busch Gardens, and they use magnets to launch you.
that is always helpful, like a bullet train, right?
Understand, Cheetah Hunt goes 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye.
Bullet train.
Yes. So does the Hulk. These things fire off of. They're literally. There is no need for a drop to get the initial inertia to get them moving. Nah, they launch like a bullet.
I bet that costs a little bit more, but it's definitely worth it for the thrill experience of it. So
it's fantastic, but they still have nothing compared to that new one over there. Oh my God, that thing is insane. Universal, if you ever happen to watch this, which you probably won't, please make it okay for people to wear their GoPros on your roller coasters. Busch Gardens does it. SeaWorld does it. A bunch of other smaller parks do it. Come on, guys. Let us be able to relive our fun, please.
Yeah, it's okay. So this one other talk show and podcast I listened to, they came up with and I had to kind of agree with them, and not to the fullest. Sport like me, I took pictures and videos of my Japan trip, right? Because I want to be able to relive that moment and whatnot, and have those moments to be relived. So when I forget about it, I can relive it. Now, roller coaster is a little hard to it's like kind of like watching a video of a dolphin going through a bubble on a video. It's not the same experience as living it at the moment and actually being there at that time.
Right.
But they literally said during their things that they don't take videos or pictures of places they go and things they do because they want to focus so much on the moment and live in that moment that they don't want the videotaping and picture to be what they're relying to experience that moment, right? They're saying that, rather than try to videotape it and be concerned about it, just live in the moment and let that moment be your memory. But it's harder for some people to have that memory. And like I said, I didn't record an entire trip of my Japan, but what I did, I still go back and sometimes just watch it just so I can have that feeling of, and get nostalgia. But it doesn't really feel the same, though. It doesn't. It doesn't feel the same.
For us, we have a little one. He is dying to go on these roller coasters. He can't. The best thing he's got is the video that I just shot.
Yeah.
And he will sit there and watch that video. And it builds him up, makes him want to ask us to take him when he's old enough to ride that video.
Is he big enough to ride the roller coaster of question that Southeast said we should not talk about?
Not yet. Oh my God. 6 inches.
Oh, that one as well. Okay, so that.
So probably next year will be his year that he will be like. It'd be like Christmas.
Yeah, that would be his time to shine.
Yes, and he is very much ready.
Speaking of time to shine, this past week was Genshin Impact's newest release of the expansion. Now, I have not played it myself, Corvo, so no spoilers.
No spoilers. Even though I'm in Orlando, I might have been playing just a hair.
Okay, so you got to experience some of it already. Now, how are you feeling about it so far?
I'm finding it very interesting. honestly. Of course, you know that there's a new island. That's not a spoiler.
Yes.
Okay. There is some interesting things happening on this island.
Okay. And
Okay.
how you feel
And-
about the theme of it?
I like it. Honestly, it's very. It matches the month. Do you understand what I'm saying by that?
Yes.
Okay, it is very matching of the month. I think they released this perfect. They knew what they were doing. They knew when they released it that this was perfect.
There's my mother.
I think it's fantastic.
Okay.
I will tell you, like all of the things in Genshin, you will be sent after a specific item, and you will find out there is much more going on there than that one thing you went there for.
Okay, so, and then with the release of all the new stuff and new patches, they released a new banner of characters to be unlock. Now,
Right.
for me, this banner has already been shown, and this would be his third time. Third
Right.
time on the banner.
Right.
Not one, not two, but 3 times.
First for me though. Remember, first for me.
First for you. So, how do you feel knowing that one character that we were both very much waiting for, excited to get, was not on the first banner as they initially announced?
I am fine because he will be on the second.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. That gives me time to bank more wishes.
Yeah, you gotta bake them all over again, because I don't know if you've already tried to get Child or not.
I will not try to get Child until right before his banner goes out.
Like, oh, just see if I get him.
I'm going to bank as many as possible because honestly, if I decide I don't want Child, that will guarantee me that one character that we want.
Yeah.
Because I have currently already put out 20 wishes prior, and I have going towards 40 banked.
Okay, so I'm not gonna buy any of this one, like at all. Not going to put it because I'm not interested in Child. Child, I heard he's pretty good and character in the game. Mom, for you don't understand, for everybody else out there, you get what I'm saying. But it's a character named Child, but it's not his real name. His real name is,
Artagulus.
yeah, Antagonist.
Antagulus or something like that.
Weird name, but that's not his actual name. Kind of weird. He has 3 names for some reason. But anyways, he's known as Child, Childe. Don't ask me why. But it's not a very interesting character in my opinion. I like some male characters, but he's not the male character I'm interested in. What I'm really interested in is a leak character. Did you see the leak character?
Which leaked character?
The character with the big hammer.
Yes, I did see that one.
Now, that's the character I would like to get.
I'm not interested in that one.
I am. 'Cause big brawling dude, fucking, it looks like a Oni. He's a big old mace hammer behind him. I mean, the dude looks like
Did you read the info though? He is not, I repeat, not a Claymore user.
Really? And he has a claymore behind his back.
According to what I read, he is a sword user.
Why? He's a big old that big old back.
That's what I said when I seen it too, because the banner shows him with a big old mace. A
Huge.
giant mace.
Wow, that's gonna make some people angry. I still want to get him though. He's supposed to be Geo, so, and if he would have been the second Geo character with the Claymore, cause Noel. But he would have been the first, and by damage dealing, he would have been the first, like, maybe double S or A rank class of a Claymore character. But he
Now,
would.
I will not say that I don't want him, but he is not the one I want.
But there's also Pretty Boy Goro,
Yep.
doggy puppy boy that everybody like swoons over on Twitter. Man, I haven't
I may be wrong, he may end up being a Claymore user, but the info that I read said he was a sword user. Now, I think Goro is a sword user, isn't he?
He's a bow.
He's a bow?
He's a bow.
That would be the first Geo bow I've seen.
Yeah, I don't really know, but it'd be interesting to see how that works. We don't know what his skills would be like. I do know Twitter is all about him, and the community is all up in a roar about him because he's a pretty boy character in the game. So everybody's like, it's a puppy doggy boy that's a pretty boy. Yay! And I'm like, I want the guy with a big old hammer. That's what I want.
Yeah, the two that I'm interested in is Hutao and Toma.
Yeah.
Those are the two I'm legit. I'll take the other two. Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. But I want those.
Okay.
That is why I am banking so many wishes right now.
But yeah, we all want the characters in the game, and we all want the characters for this and that, and for whatever reason we want them, whether it be aesthetics or abilities or fighting style or a closeness to them. But as you well know, I've been trying to get a certain character and try to get her, and I was unfortunate not to pull her again. I was only going to get one of her, and that is Rosaria. Yeah, you know who Rosaria is, right? Spear Icy Girl. Okay,
yeah.
So apparently she got at some point, and I didn't know this, a nerf. And some very big assets on her. And I wanted to get Stealthy's input on this one, but she's not here. So I'm gonna get your thoughts on this. Now I'm going to find this real quick and send you a picture and ask you if this is a good nerf or not.
Okay.
Okay, so if I can open this one up. Okay, so on this website, you can scroll down, and the image to the left is what she used to be, and the image on the right is what she is now. How do you feel about that kind of nerf in a video game? So I want to get Stealthy in this one because I want to see what she thought about it. And I'm in the mindset of, once the character's released, don't mess with them. From an artistic point of view, don't mess with them, because that might be the reason why some people get that character. That might be their main reason. Hey, I want this character because I like this look of them and how they play and blah, blah, blah. And, you being a man of yourself, of fine culture, you may have a thought and opinion of this as well.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to get it to open here.
If that doesn't work, I'll give you another one.
No, I got it. Let me see here.
There's another image just in case.
Yeah, I got it. I do not like the nerf. I don't. And it's not because... let me see how to explain it. It's not because that's what I'm looking for. It's because that's not how the character was originally designed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like anytime you make a change to an original design, you're basically telling that designer, what the hell ever.
Okay, so let me just preface this for those who are not seeing, and I would bring an image up for y'all to see, but unfortunately I'm incapable of doing that right now without me having to mess around with things. Rosaria was nerds, characters design-wise. And I am a mindset, let me preface this from the start being, I believe you can be of any size, any shape, and you be capable of doing anything anyone else can do. To what extent and how long you can do it is a different stake of a matter, right? I believe any person out there can be a fighter, can be an athlete, can be can run long, can fight, hard as anyone else. Just how long and how well can you move can be a thing in there. And I believe your body doesn't play a factor in that, right? I believe Corvo can still whoop someone's ass as the day he learned how to whip someone's ass. So even when he was skinnier to the day right now, he can still do it because he still has the training. Does not matter if his physical body has changed or not. This character, and I'll start this also saying I believe beautiful women can also fight too, right? It does not matter if you're gorgeous or ugly. If you know how to fight, you know how to fight. Your body type does not come into the factor whether or not you know how to fight. This character, at one time, she had large, what's the word for it?
Bust.
I would say not assets.
She had a large bust area.
Busty, and what people always call it in a comical sense of it. I'm trying to figure out that word. Not aesthetics. Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, she had large busts, but there's a word for it. I'm trying to say that as they always say, because I always find it funny when they say it like that. It's not assets, because that's what I call the other end, the posterior. I call it assets. I'm drawing a blank on it. Goodness gracious, it might jump into me.
I wish I could help you, but I'm
drawing a blank, and I'm sad that I'm drawing it because I think it's funny when people say it's not assets, and it's another word for it, and it's bugging the shit out of me. All right, anyway, so they nerfed her and made him smaller, and I think that gives a bad image to girls out there that do have large busts, right? Or younger girls out there going, hey, if I have large breasts, that's bad, right? And I have these big boobs, that's bad because all the games are taken out of it, and all the media is taken out of it, and all the movies are like, you can't have big boobs anymore. Like, you just can't. Like, it's frowned upon because anytime there's something like that in a video game or a movie or a show, whatever, like, they're like trying to make them like smaller. Like, that's bad. You can't have that in video games. So therefore, the girls have been like, this is bad. I have these things. I can't be a fighter or badass. I can't be a badass, chikorita because I got large busts. I got large totters. I can't do this because I got that. Like, I think that sets a bad presence for people.
Right. I think they went the complete. They went too far the opposite direction. They did that because they're more concerned with, children are playing this and they don't want to over sexualize a character or something like that, but at the same time they're not thinking about the fact that, like you said, the chicks out there with a large bust area are taking it as in, I can't do this because I'm too large. And they don't think they're thinking about the negative impact on people looking at it sexually, not the negative impact on people thinking that they're now not capable of doing certain things because they have such a large bust.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about people that are of hesky sides. I'm kind of hesky myself. I'm not saying about there, but you really cannot help that you have large breasts. Like, that's just, There's no way of doing that. There's no diet you can go and just take or exercise and you just can shrink your boobs.
No, the only thing you can do with that is have a reduction done.
Yeah.
And that costs a lot of money.
And that's giving a bad image to girls. And people are like, well, the game's sexualized. There's plenty of characters on the game that have no chesticles still doing it. So they already have the scale of field, right? They already have the multitude of characters, right? They already have that. I would like more body types in the game, though. Be honest with you, more body types. I'm not talking about the big old husky Fatui character body types, because let's be honest here, they're not going to be like running for a long period of time like some of the characters in the game, climbing up no mountains and like doing the things that some characters are. Normally the Fatuis are very slow and they're using a gun and just kind of just spraying, and they're using jetpacks to propel them forward and up and then down. Like, they have technology, but otherwise they're not going to be doing like other things than that. But I'm not saying you're incapable of doing it. Just like from a venture standpoint, if you were as active as your character is in the video game, you would lose probably a lot of that weight, and you probably wouldn't need a jetpack. If I would climb up mountains, I'm sure I would lose weight eventually. eventually.
Absolutely.
Which I have lost a lot of weight since I've cut out sugar. I think I've lost a total of 20 pounds now. So
Nice. Good on you.
my wife said she could reach her like wrap her arms around me. No more. She couldn't just like she did this, but now she gets you wrap her arms around me. So that is a I guess a nice thing. So yeah, I don't really like that, and I'm still kicking myself in the ass. I don't know the word for the funny way of calling breasts is this, but I don't really like that games and it's always serving to, and it's not a political thing. This is a social thing. State that first. Social, not a political thing. People are pandering to the 1% and forgetting about the 99%. There's more average of girls out there that are big breasts or have boobs than there are girls that don't have boobs. So you're catering to the 1% rather than catering to the 99%. If you cater to the 1%, you forget about the 99%, which is the over the majority of people, and you piss off the majority of the people, and you make the small minority happy. Is that really smart? Not really smart.
Not really, no.
So if you cater to 1%, the 99% would be mad at you. And that's kind of like they did with Batman, or not Batman, Superman. They made, the next comic book, they made Superman gay or bisexual, and a lot of fans are not happy about that. I don't have a foot in the leg of that race because I don't care about comic books. I care about mangas. That's my thing.
I grew up with comic books, and I'm sorry, but I don't have a problem with gay people, but I do have a problem with them making a superhero that has been historically straight his entire inception by.
Yeah. And I think that's, again, pandering to the 1%. Small
Absolutely.
percentage. There's not everybody in the world is gay or bisexual. Small
Right.
group. They're very loud.
Yeah, well, I mean, and here's the thing, that they didn't have to go that way with it. They
No.
could have written an entirely new comic book with an entirely new character that could have been that way.
Well, I'm sure they're going to twist it and say, oh, this is the parallel universe or a different universe of Superman. They could do that, but it doesn't take away the fact that when you hear Superman in your head, you don't align that with that way.
The first thing you think of when you hear Superman is Lois.
Yes, Lois Jane.
It's always Lois.
Well, that or Wonder Woman.
Now, what are you going to have, Luis?
Yeah, or Wonder Woman. But
I mean, you going to have Luis, the dude, instead of Lois, the girl? I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I don't have a problem with gay people. Good on you if you're brave enough to come out and show everybody who you are. I think you have a right to do that. But I also don't think that other sexual orientations should be
shoehorned.
Shoehorned, because we have stuff that's been out there for years and was historically put that way, shaped so that it makes you happy. That's not to say that they shouldn't make stuff that fits for you, that makes you happy. Write a new comic book with a brand new character that aligns for y'all. I'm perfectly fine with that. Have no issues with it whatsoever. I just don't. I mean, you wouldn't want, if y'all were the majority and straight people were not, you wouldn't want to be shoehorned into where all your historical bi or gay characters were turned into straight people just to suit us.
No.
So, I mean, come on, man.
Again, it's no to ye, but yes to thee. It's one of those standards, right? Like, it's okay if I do it, but it's not okay if you do it. Right? That's a situation like, it's okay if I turn your character to a different aesthetic or different, belief or a different sexual standing. But it's bad if you take my character that has that different orientation or standing or political whatever and change it to the opposite way. Like, no. Can't have that. That's wrong. But doing the other way, so you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a double standard. Definitely a double standard, and I don't appreciate it. But, hey, if they would have pandered to the 1%, and they say it's a failure, which is not technically a failure, okay? There would be people buying it because it would like, hey, this close to me. The problem is those people that are close to are a very small minority. That won't be a failure because it will win them over. The problem is the rest of the audience, you lose them. Because they feel betrayed, they feel angered, they won't buy it, and you be like, "Well, we didn't have very good sales because you're all a bunch of phobics." Like, we're not phobics. It doesn't really hit me on a personal level. It doesn't
resonate with you.
Yeah, I don't feel connected to it. It's not that I'm off by it, but I'm not connected to it. I'm not going to connect. I'm not going to be able to relate with the character because the character isn't what I remember, or two, it's not something I can see myself in. So, if I don't see myself in it, I don't see myself as that character, I'm not going to be able to relate with it. And that's 90% of the people. The 1% of the people will relate to it. Problem is the comic book industry is already suffering, and they're going to be catering to the 1%, which is even they are not many of them are interested in comic books. Let's be honest here. And now they're going to get even worse themselves. And I don't want the comic book industry to die away. But I don't really have a shoe in the race here because I'm a manga person. I've been that way for a long time. First thing I think is Zoids, but drugs all over micro. What was that saying? Micropolis? I can't understand what Lord Pest's last word. But yeah, I don't really. Again, good for them if they want to do that.
Micropolis?
Yeah, what is that? I have no idea what that is.
He's got me on that one.
But yeah, I again, make your own characters, and if it doesn't look like it's successful, it's not because people are not really interested in. You got to make characters relates to it's just good business, really. You got to have to relate to more people. If you relate to more people, the more sales you can have, and more money it makes. And the average person is not of a different orientation. This is average. Just a vocal minority is very loud. But let's be honest with you, how many of them actually are interested in those things? I wouldn't say everybody is. So just, even a percentage might be interested in that thing, in that said thing. And you're going to be cutting yourself, if you're okay with that, you're okay with loss of money, go for it. If you're okay with losing money, or losing as much money as you averagely would make to seek a new audience, that's cool. Just don't think your old audience is going to just be right there with you and be willing to lose money for your gamble, right? It's your gamble. That's on you, business, comic book industry. That's on you. And that's what I love about anime and manga. They don't care. They don't care at all. They know where their audience is and who their audience is. They're going to be aiming at us because they want that money. And I don't fault them for that. But speaking of faulting them for that, this is the last subject I want to talk on before we end the podcast. Have you heard about the Oreo debacle when it came to Pokemon?
Yes, I've heard bits and pieces of it. I hadn't really done any research on it, but I gathered that whatever happened was quite the uproar.
Okay, so for everybody who's wondering what I'm maybe talking about here, past week or past month or so, Oreo has released a line of Oreos of Pokemon on the Oreos. Now, these are not collector pieces. You do not get no cards inside of it. You get nothing collector. This is just a little bit of like a, hey, memorabilia. You get to keep the pack outside. That's it. So that's Pokemon on it if you want to. Or maybe keep them. If I would buy them, I would put them in resin and cure it so I can cure up an Oreo maybe with Mew on it, just to have a bit of memorabilia, but then waits an Oreo, or it might get soggy during the resin time, which I would hate because that's the whole point of the reason why I would want to cure it, because I want to keep it in a state as it was when it first was taken out of the package. But anyways, so a lot of people were telling people not to buy Oreo, to boycott Oreo, because Oreo has been lowering insurance for new hirees, and also been moving a lot of jobs over to Mexico to start being made and processed in Mexico. And a lot of people were upset about that. And I get that, right? I get that. That's you're fighting a good fight. Jobs should stay in America. My thoughts, but they should stay in America, and you shouldn't lower people's insurance, even if they're new employees. People's insurance are important, even more so nowadays than ever. And they're saying people don't have to buy Oreo and they buy this Pokemon stuff because Oreo is just doing this to make up money and make up the means from where they were losing out because employees were boycotting and employees were not working because they're on a strike for Oreo. But here's the kicker. Oreo announced this deal with Pokemon 4 to 5 months prior to the boycotting and strike of the employees. But the employees are saying don't buy this stuff just because, you know, it's with Pokemon and it makes them more money. Now, I want to get your thoughts on it. Is Oreo more on the right because they already had this plan? Like, it wasn't like, hey, we need to wait a quick amount of money because a lot of our employees are either A, quitting or boycotting or on strike. They're refusing to work. We need to make money now. How are we going to do that? Let's make a deal with Pokemon and release a Pokemon pack to make a lot of money. Or do you think the employees are still on the right, even though 4 or 5 months it's already been planned and already been made and it was already in the process of going, and then like, hey, you're still lowering my insurance and moving my job to Mexico?
No, see, I kind of look at it like this. It's 4 or 5 months in advance before the strike and all. So, I mean, unless they had some intelligence from their factory floor telling them that this was coming and everybody been planning it for months, I wouldn't necessarily tie that deal to that, but obviously, if they were making these plans in advance, they were looking to make up money somewhere. Mm-hmm. The question is what were they trying to make up the money for? Is it because of the virus and everybody had such a shortage on work for a while, and they're trying to recoup profits that they lost? If that's the case, that's a normal business practice. But if they're trying to do this because they knew that they were fixing to move a bunch of crap to Mexico and there was going to be a bunch of fallout, then that's a different story. It depends on the reason behind the deal, and honestly, neither of us are never going to know the real reason, because obviously they're going to tell us no, it had nothing to do with their employees and stuff. That they didn't know that they were going to need to recoup it. They're never going to admit it if it was, and even if it wasn't, at that point, the employees are just being pissed off because their jobs are being moved and stuff, which is rightfully so. But if it's not the reason why they signed the deal, then you're bitching about the wrong thing. You know, not that you shouldn't bitch, guys. You should definitely bitch. You have a reason to.
Yeah.
But make sure you're bitching about the right thing. Okay, because bitching about the wrong thing is just as bad as them doing the wrong thing. You're not going to get any traction on what you're trying to get across.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, it really, really comes down to is there's somebody sitting somewhere that knows whether they did this because they were trying to make up money from viruses and stuff like that's been going on, them doing that, or whether they knew in advance that they were moving all these jobs and there was going to be a fallout. You know, I understand the virus, if that was the case. If it's not, if it's because they predicted when they moved this stuff this was going to happen, then that's shit. Okay?
I was in somewhat of agreeing with some people just saying I'm not gonna get upset just because over some dang cookies. Like, it's just cookies. Like, I'm not going to blow my gasket over cookies, right? It's like, to me, it's just why it was so big deal because of Pokemon. But then again, if a big company, big name brand that I know if I were to collaborate with, would you hit me up and say, hey, we want to collab with you to make you a lot of money. Are you down with that? Hell yes. Hell yes.
I mean, from a business standpoint, from a business standpoint, if they were approached saying, hey, let's collaborate on this and make us both some money, that's a sound business deal. Period.
And it's like, even if I'm struggling still or not struggling, more money would
Right,
just.
it's a sound business deal. So, like I said, to me, it depends on the motives. Like if this was just something that come up one day because the guy that has all the pull with Pokemon and the guy that has all the pull with Oreos was sitting down at the damn, at a tiki hut at a golf course, and they're like, "Hey man, let's do a collab and make us both some money." That's a good business deal. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Now, if the same two people are sitting there going, "Hey, we're fixing to move a bunch of jobs somewhere else, and we're gonna have fallout. Let's try to cover our own asses and make us a deal," that's shitty to your employees. So, it depends on what happened, and we don't know. None of us will ever know for sure. Only the people that were a part of that deal will know, and we're just gonna have to deal with the shit, whether we like it or not. I mean, I personally would think it would be a shitty business move if they did it because they foreseen what was coming when they moved the jobs. But on the same side, if it was just a straight up legit business deal that was offered and they made, I can also say that was a good call by the company. I don't know. There's no way for me to know. How am I supposed to know? I don't run Oreo. I don't run the Pokemon trade business, so I don't know.
And here's a good idea for everybody out there who wants to do something. Make the molds of all the Pokemon cookies and make 3D models out of them. I would love to print it. I would love to print like a bunch of fake cookies that look like Oreos and the Pokemon design on it with all that like that. That'd be a pretty cool idea if everybody wants to take that, free to have it, go have it and have fun with it. But if they would sell the molds of the cookies for Oreos for the Pokemon and say, hey, if anybody wants to buy these, because I'm sure they have a bunch of them in the Oreo factories. Going to be after this is all said and done, just sitting there. I'll buy one of them if they were too expensive. But I'd say I'm a bit of a Superman fan, as in from the Smallville TV show. I'm talking about their Lord Pestilence situation, especially if they are unionized. Yeah, they're unionized. They're gonna probably keep it, like everybody's be union. They're gonna be working together with everybody else to try to boycott and try to retaliate and try to make some demands. My first demand would, of course, be don't move my job to Mexico because I'm not moving to Mexico. Just that to me, that's where, and this is not a political standpoint. I think this should be just like a hey, you're your company. Like, I don't care if you're for a business profit. If you were made in America, I don't think you should be allowed to move out of America so you can cut funds. If you're in California and you're suffering, you don't just leave United States altogether. You just move to a new state, and that's what most people do. If you're in New York, if you're suffering, your business is suffering, and your work is suffering, just move to a new state. A lot of companies are moving to Texas. Just move to Texas. Keep at least you can move to other states if the area is not really working with you to help out your business. And I think just moving out of country is just I don't know if that's me being cynical or being malicious. I don't appreciate when people go and take jobs and move them out of countries just to save on a dollar or save a lot of money. But those countries need jobs too. Again, Oreo, I won't be too upset if they leave. It's not going to be a big deal off my shoulder, but if I was working there, I'm pretty sure it's a huge deal because I'm working there. I don't want to lose my job.
Right.
Especially during the COVID time. If you ever known Oreo's dark secrets, I'm sure Oreo has some dark secrets in their line of companies. I'm sure they may stole some recipes or stole some ideas.
What corporation doesn't?
Yeah. And every corporation has their secrets. Every corporation has their patent. So, hope you don't get that stuff stolen from you. And, it's just a cookie to me. I don't have a say in this race, a leg in this race. It's sad to see people lose their job. And it's just one of those things. I still love Pokemon. I didn't buy the Pokemon. I got some of them from my mother-in-law. She gave them to me, even though right in that time I was cutting sugar back. And she just like, oh, by the way, here's some cookies. I just started my sugar diet.
Well, then I'm not going to tell you about the 2 packs of Chips Ahoy over there on my bar.
Eat me.
Here at the hotel.
So yeah, I'm honestly, I'm put. My wife is texting me here. Well, I was gonna tell her about that. But yeah, anyways, I will be going live a little while after I go eat. After Corvo's gonna eat, I'm sure. Well, I'm gonna jump on Get You Impact. Corvo, what are you gonna do the rest of the night? Are you gonna go out and?
I may run down to the pool with the kiddies for a little while, but I'm hoping we'll get back and I'll be able to fire up your stream and at least watch some of it while we're sitting here. Because honestly, we have not watched any TV. There's not a whole lot on the TV here, mainly because we're used to having our Netflix and my Plex server and stuff to watch pretty much what we want to watch.
Yeah.
So we have been going to the parks, coming home, jumping in the pool, and then coming up and quickly doing commissions and things like that. So yeah, I'm hoping to catch part of your streaming here in a little bit.
Okay, but you sure if you leave a comment down below for those who are watching the VODs here, be sure to leave a comment. If you have not left the comments and you're in my live chat right now, be sure to rewatch this video, share it with your friends, share it to all your social media, Facebook, Twitter, all blah, 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 blah. Be sure to leave a comment down below if any of the subject matters that you may have missed or thoughts and opinions on anything we may have discussed today. And if anybody has any ideas for videos out there, share with us. We'd love to hear about it. Some videos that might be catching more of your interest. But I will say this again, I do need 8 people. I have Stealthy and Corvo, most likely. I need, technically I need 6 more people. I have a video idea, and I'd like to get many people. It's a little game I'm going to be playing with y'all. I think it'd be pretty funny. I think it'd be a little fun. I saw a video on it, and I'd like to replicate the idea of it. And I think it'd be a great video, and of course, a great time just to do it together. It's a little bit of a contest kind of thing going on, but I think all y'all have a great time doing it. So if you're interested, hit me up and let me know. But as always, you have a good day, have a good night, and have a good life. Much love, y'all. Bye. 1, 2.